Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. One friend has requested via mail to differentiate between Vidhan Parishad and Vidhan Sabha. Vidhan Sabha is known as Legislative Assembly and Vidhan Parishad is known as Legislative Council. Recently, the West Bengal government has decided to set up a Legislative Council in the state. And after that, these two terminologies are in vogue. The law students and the citizen of India wants to know what is Legislative Council and why it has not been established till date in West Bengal or in many of these states in India. So let's discuss what these two terminologies stands for and what is the difference between Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly. So as I told you that recently the government of West Bengal has decided to set up a Legislative Council which is known as Vidhan Parishad, as I told you. And to set up a legislative council, a bill must be introduced in the Legislative Assembly, and then the approval of the governor is also needed. The Legislative Council of West Bengal was abolished in the year 1969. In India, as you all are aware, we have bicameral form or system of legislature. Like the Parliament of India has two houses, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the states are also entitled to have Legislative Council in addition to Legislative Assembly. This has been granted as per Article 169 of the Indian Constitution. Let's discuss what is the essential difference in between Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly or Vidhan Sabha is the lower chamber in the legislature of the state, whether like Rajya Sabha, Legislative Council is the upper house of the state legislature. The members of Legislative Assembly are elected through direct elections. Legislative Council members are indirectly elected through proportional representation system. The Legislative Assembly is a temporary body whose tenure is only 5 years, after which it is dissolved. But the Legislative Council is a permanent house which is never dissolved. It can only be abolished and 1/3 members retire every 2 years. A speaker is the presiding officer of Legislative Assembly, but chairman is the presiding officer of Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly is present in all the states of India, but Legislative Assembly right now is present in only Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana and Uttar Pradesh, and it is proposed in one or more states in India. The maximum strength of Vidhan Sabha, Legislative Assembly, is of 500 members and the minimum strength is 60 members. But the maximum number of members of Vidhan Parishad cannot be more than 1/3 of the total numbers of members in the Legislative Assembly. The number of members should not be less than 40. To become a member of Legislative Assembly, one should have attained the age of 25 years. But to become the member of Legislative Assembly, the minimum age is 30 years. You should also know that Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council both are the essential part of a state legislature which is headed by the governor of the state. So my dear friends, I hope after this brief lecture, you all have a better insight about Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly. Stay connected with your favorite platform, Vedic Shiksha. Keep learning. Have a nice time.